how my entire life changed after converting to Islam. So when most converts tell their conversion stories, most people don't get to find out how did their parents react, what do you love most about Islam, what are your experiences. So I've been Muslim for about 10 years, guys, and I have honestly so much experiences and so much stories in my life, alhamdulillah, with Islam. And I want to share with you guys what I think will, inspire you guys, inshallah. So what I want to start with is how my parents actually reacted. So I told you guys, when I told my parents that I wanted to become Muslim, my mom was very worried for me, and my dad said he would disown me and never call me his son. So when I converted to Islam, I ended up not telling my dad for an entire year and a half. I was Muslim for a year and a half and my dad had no idea. So during this time, I was focusing on my character, changing myself, becoming more spiritual, doing better in school. I was 15 years old and treating my parents kind. How my entire life changed after converting to Islam, part 2. So this was the beginning of my new journey being a Muslim. I had to start learning everything on my own. I learned how to pray all by myself, alhamdulillah. I had to memorize the Fatiha. I remember I always had to repeat the video over and over and over again until I had it memorized. Alhamdulillah, it took about like 2 weeks. I had to stop doing all of the bad habits that I was doing as a 15-year-old. Not gonna lie, I was a little bit of a sinner, man. Like partying and like drinking and all that, smoking drugs. I did it. I'm not gonna lie. That was part of my life. But I started doing better in school. I started focusing on my goals more. I started treating my parents more with respect. People in my school were starting to notice that I changed a lot as a human. And before, my mom was worried about me becoming Muslim, but then she started to finally accept it because she noticed the change in me. And I told you guys, I didn't tell my dad for a year and a half that I was Muslim, but when I finally told him, he told me, you know what, son, I have no choice but to respect your decision. How my life changed after converting to Islam, part 3. So I told you guys that finally after a year and a half, I told my dad that I finally became Muslim. And he accepted my faith because he saw me change as a human being. I went from being a kid who always used to cause trouble, stealing, doing drugs, drinking, partying, having the police bring me home, to a kid who respects his parents, doing better in school, and learning great etiquette with his family. My parents had no choice but to accept and love the religion that I was following. And 10 years later, I have 2 parents that are not Muslim. They're still Christian, but they still support my faith and my religion because it changed me as a human being. And my change is because of the Prophet ﷺ. My mom stopped buying pork. She has woken me up for Fajr at times. My dad says Assalamu alaikum, Inshallah, Allahu Akbar. He wishes me Eid Mubarak. And this is all because of my character, alhamdulillah.